Hello, welcome to my channel and welcome back if you've been before. Today I'll be swatching my cooler colour pencils. I've split it up into two videos, this one for the greens and a separate one for the blues and the violets. So I'm going to be looking at the colours. I've seen various definitions of warm and cool colours. Some pretty much your line goes through the middle of the yellow and the violet, and anything on the cool acid side of the yellow, the sort of acid green side is a cool colour. Anything on the orange side is a warm colour. And the same for violet. Anything on the blue side of violet is a cooler colour, and everything on the red side of violet is a warmer colour. But I've seen just as many that kind of put the line a bit more through these ones really, and having yellow greens being warmer colours. So it depends on how you like to look at it. That's my favourite way. Anyway, I'm going to be starting with the kind of the more chartreuse, acid yellows right through to the violets. So I'm going to be doing this side first. So as you can see, I've got a mixture of pencils. I've got some Holbein, I've got some Caran Luminance, I've got quite a few Polychromos, mostly because I keep finding excuses to pop into Hobbycraft and pick up one or two more pencils. I've got some Derwent Drawing pencils. I've got Derwent Lightfast as well. These tend to be the softer pencils. So the Derwent Drawing, the Derwent Lightfast, the Caran tend to be softer. And I think they're mostly on the waxier side. And then you've got pencils which are a mixture then of oil and wax, which tend to get harder and firmer. So the Polychromos are firmer. Oh, I've got one or two of these Caran Pablo pencils as well. And I find those the firmest, even firmer. I've only got two, but so far I'm finding those even firmer than the Faber-Castell Polychromos. That one's a Holbein. Holbeins I think are somewhere in the middle. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's my range for today. So I'm going to be swatching them out on separate cards, a bit like I did for the watercolours, just because, and for the same reasons, so that I can keep groups of colours together, which you can do in a book, I know, but then when you're building up your collection and you buy new colours, you've never left enough space to add another yellow or to add another blue. Partly because of that, it just means I can add a new one easily every time. And partly because I like the idea of being able to choose colour palettes by selecting different cards and putting them together and seeing which colours go well together. That just sounds like good fun to me. So that's my plan there. This is just sketch paper. I think it's the cheap cartridge paper from the works, but it's fine for this job. All right, let's get going. Well, I'm just going to show you those first two because I've started twice and both times it didn't record and I'm not quite sure why. I swear I pressed the button. But anyway, I've started with the Holbein Chartreuse Green and the Pablo Light Olive. I really love that colour. That's exactly what I was looking for. This is great for highlights and sort of spring greens when the sunlight shines through. And this is just a beautiful, gentle light green, fresh green colour. Very nice. The next one is also a lovely fresh colour. It is the Luminance Spring Green. And you can see the difference in the hardness of the pencil just from when I'm swatching. Look, this pencil's showing up the grain of the table. This one's filling in the gaps rather more. So I'm just going to put Lume for Luminance, Caran Luminance, Spring Green 470. So another very pretty colour. So there's enough Enough spring green colours there. This one's another actually. This is Luminance. This is Olive Yellow 015. There we are. Sometimes I do really neat swatches, and sometimes I think it's one of those things you've just got to get in the zone, and then they start to come out neatly, and then they go messed up again. It's just you dip in and out of the zone, don't you, with these things? That's another beautiful colour. I will lay them all out next to each other later so you can compare them. Then there are a couple of Polychromos colours, which are also, this one is May Green. I've tried to pick all the Lightfast Polychromos, because not all of them are, most of them are. So what should I put? PC for Polychromos. So it's Faber-Castell Polychromos, May Green. And that one is number 170. And then you'll see that this one is fairly similar, but this is a little darker. It's another Polychromos, and this one is the earth green yellowish. Let's see if I can do this. There we are, that's a bit better. I might just put yellow, I'll know what it is. And that's 168. I've tried to collect as many greens as I can because I like doing landscape work, and I just want all that variation of greens because it can get a bit boring otherwise. Now these two I bought recently because despite the fact that I don't really like these quite, I'd call them gaudy greens, they are both the grass green 70% and grass green Derwent Lightfast. That one says Lightfast 1, Lightfast 2. So I'll have to check. I think the Lightfastness one is 100 plus years. And I may be right or wrong in saying that the Lightfast 2 is 50 to 100 years. Well, it might be more than that. It might be 75 plus. I'll have to check that, and I'll put it on the screen now. But there are occasions, like a couple of pieces I've done recently, I've thought I really do need something, even if it's a matter of layering it up, not having it, because as you can see, it's really quite strong. And it's not a true, what I would call a grass green. I'm going to put DL for Derwent Lightfast. I'm going to go and get a piece of grass from the garden. I mean, I know there's different grasses and some of them are stronger colours than others. I'm going to put LF1 there just so I remember those. I'll just swatch this one, then I'm going to go and get a piece of grass, because my grass is pretty much standard grass colour grass. Gosh, many years ago I did my dissertation, my ecology dissertation on different grasses. Well, that was part of it. It was my collection. So grass green, Lightfastness 1, that one is. So that was grass green 70%. This is grass green, but again, as you can see, it's not a true grass green. But when you get the sunshine shining on intensively farmed land, where they've added fertilizers to the grass, and it's improved grassland, it can get pretty It can get quite, oh, I got that the wrong way around. That was light fastness 1. Well, that's easy. I just has another, there you go. It can get quite intense, the colour. Am I not seeing those as well as I thought you were? There we are. Right, bear with me a second. I shall be back. Right, so as you can see, my grass needs cutting. Let's lay out some of these. And you see, for me, it's closer to that one, to the green, earth green yellowish. If I was going to choose a green to represent that, it would be my earth green yellowish. But layering them up, if you layered that with that, because it is a little bit more intense than this, then maybe you would start getting to the correct colour. Let me have a little try. Sorry, I've come down quite low, so there's not much space. There we are. So, yeah. Shall I give it a go and come back in a sec? Or I'll do it on screen if you like. Hold on. Let's play with it. Let's use one of my mistakes I did earlier. So I'm going to start with the earth green yellowish. Try and press quite hard there. And then what if I... Ooh, need to go a bit lighter on that. That's strong already. I need the darker one, don't I? There might be a better one later on. Oh, no. No, that's not doing it. It's going far too blue. I'm going to see later if I can find one of my other colours. So, for example, I have a moss green. That might help. Yeah, see? That's... And that together, to me... Let's try those. Yeah, that's much closer. That's a bit too blue maybe, but you know, that's far closer to this colour than that is, for sure. Okay, back to it. Let's get back on track. I'll just clear up the grass. Right, this time you have Holbein Misty Green. Some of these Holbein ones are not fully light fast again. However, the colours are just so magic that I bought them anyway. You know, it all depends, isn't it? If you're doing work that you're going to scan and print, whether you want to do original work. I think what I will do is all the ones which aren't the highest light fastness, I think it's still good, this one. It still lasts many years in the right conditions. But I might put like a little tape or something around just to show the ones which are not as light fast. And then I can choose to use those for certain pieces of work then. I'm still looking to get middle verdigris green, I think. Is that Luminance? I think that's another one similar to this, but I still don't think it's the same as this. So Misty Green, Holbein. Gosh. Everyone always says how hard these are to read, and they are, aren't they? I'm just going to put a little 2 star there to remind myself that might not be 100% light fast. Right, this is a Derwent Lightfast foliage, light fastness 2, that one says as well. I shall have to go and investigate a little bit further and maybe make a note on the back of how many years each one is meant to last. Gorgeous though, isn't it? That's a go-to colour of mine. Okay, and mean, as you can see, I'm pretty new to it. None of these are little tiny stumps yet, but I have had a good go and done some pieces, which I will be... Oh, this one's in the wrong place. It's very bluish, but never mind. I will be doing a speeded up version of some of my artwork soon as well. I've filmed a couple of pieces. I just need to edit them. That's the light aqua. That's the Derwent Lightfast Light Aqua. That's LF1. It's a beautiful colour. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's one of those white ones, but it's got enough colour to really be able to enjoy it. It's beautiful. Anyway, we'll lay that in order later. It's very easy to put the more saturated colours in kind of order, but it's a little bit harder when they get to colours like these, which are really quite muted, because then you've got more than two colours involved very often. So it's quite hard to know where to put these in the order. Never mind. So this is Pale Cedar, Derwent Drawing, lovely soft pencils. It's not a very big set. I think it's just, I'm going to put DD. I think it's only 24 pencil sets, but gosh, the colours are all very natural, earthy, really, really lovely colours. And beautiful soft pencils to use as well. Right, these are all my kind of pale muted ones coming up now. So I've just grouped them all together. This is Derwent Drawing Green Shadow. These are all supposed to be, pretty light fast as well, but they haven't got the LF1 or LF2 on them, so I'm just trusting that they're all at least LF2. Beautiful muted colours. And this one is Derwent Drawing again. This is Crag Green. This one's got a lot more yellow in it actually. So far we've got the Pale Cedar and Crag Green are very similar, just one's a little darker than the other. Green Shadow's a bit bluer. A couple more Derwent Drawings now. This one's Smoke Blue. What's this one? Let's do the Olive Earth first, because I'm assuming the Olive Earth will be greener than the Smoke Blue. Don't really need to put the numbers on these ones. I was going to put the numbers on because a lot of the Polychromos ones I'm just recording the numbers I've got, because when I pop into Hobbycraft next and get tempted by another pencil, I don't want to. I think one day I went and bought the same one as I'd already got. Oh, this one should really have gone in the blues, shouldn't it? And I took it back and got a different one instead. So I'm keeping a record now of the numbers I've got of those. That is beautiful, isn't it? As I say, we'll get these in a bit better order later. Now, this one's a beautiful colour. It's the Earth Green. It's 3-star Earth Green 172. One of my favourites. think it's somebody else's favourite as well. Natasha Newton, has mentioned this a few times. It is a gorgeous colour. Won't bother putting the stars on because I know all the ones I've got from Polychromos, are 3-star, and if there are 1 or 2 that are 2-star, I will mark that on and I'll know then that all the others are 3-star anyway. So that's a beautiful muted colour. This one is another green earth. That one's earth green, that's Polychromos earth green, and this is Derwent Lightfast green earth, which is just a touch darker, a touch bluer as well. Look, see the difference? That might be useful for you. Both the same sort of colour family though, absolutely gorgeous. You know, I'm not much of a talker. I didn't know if I'd be able to find things to say as I was doing this, but I'm managing okay. Rattling on. Right, okay, this one is Derwent Lightfast Spruce Green, Lightfastness 1. Sorry, I'm not a good storyteller. If I was, I'd be telling you some stories, wouldn't I? But not all of us can be good storytellers. Right, Derwent Lightfast Spruce Green LF1. That is a favourite of mine. I find myself reaching for that quite a lot for the darks when I'm doing trees or just bushes and trees from a distance, the shadows underneath. And what shall I do next? Let's have a look. I don't know why I went for that. I think I was on blue mode then. Or I think I was still looking at the more muted colours. Right, back to the kind of a more yellowy greens now then. So I've got Luminance Moss Green. Which is a very, very useful... Oh, yeah, I think we used that earlier, didn't we? Yeah, it's definitely the right one for grass. Here we are. I'll put Loom Moss Green. There we go. Well, I picked up a fair few olivey colours. I never thought I would love greens so much, but when you start doing landscape work and you just realise how many greens there are, it is quite a fascinating range of colours. Okay, chromium green, opaque. So Polychromos. And that's 174, I think. Need to get my magnifying glass out in a minute. But another very useful colour. Permanent green olive. No, that one's gone yellower, isn't it? Another. Oh, even better actually. I think that's probably is the one, isn't it? Even better than the moss green. Or a mixture of those two layers for certain. There we are. Okay, so Polychromos. I'm just going to put Perm. I'm not going to fit all that there. Green olive. Now basil next, or maybe this one first. This is olive green yellowish. very useful. Dirty green. This one is basil. Derwent Lightfast basil. I really do have these well out of order, don't I? But never mind. That's a very bluish green. I thought it was going to be yellower, judging by the top. Light fastness too. But they're all light fast. Or they're all very light fast. Can't say anything is completely light fast, I guess. But they are, you can say they're very light fast. Polychromos Chrome Oxide Green. This is a nice dark one. 278. And juniper green, another Polychromos. Haven't had this one very long actually, but again, a very useful forest colour. I did a picture recently of Aber Falls, Rhaeadr Fawr, I think, which means big falls, in North Wales near Connaught, Bangor, that area. Was there a couple of years ago with some friends of mine. I went for a walk up to the falls and got some nice photographs. And I have to say, when I was doing that the other day, I must have used pretty much all my greens at some point in that picture. I had them all out and I was picking lots of different greens up. I think I did use most of them. And even then I was still searching for particular colours that I didn't quite have. I'll go and find it in a minute and show you. This one's a very bluey green. Beautiful colour. That could be used for undersea work as well, couldn't it? That's something I want to do soon as well. My friend sent me a picture of an anemone that she'd seen on the coast, and it just made me think, oh, I've got those colour pencils. I really want to draw that. So I think that's going to be one of my next jobs. I remember going to, I think it was Plymouth Aquarium years ago, and I was absolutely entranced by the colours there. Absolutely amazing, all the different colours of the different creatures. And I can remember, I do need to go to an aquarium again, actually. I think that would really give me some inspiration, come to think of it. I can remember coming away from there and I was, oops, the light's going. I was absolutely blown away by all the different colours. This is Holbein, and it's fur green. And that's probably the darkest green I've got at the moment. I'd like to get one just a bit darker again, and maybe not quite so, a bit more like I think maybe the forest, is it? If anyone's got any ideas for, well, maybe a really dark bluey green. This one's pretty dark, but I wouldn't mind going a shade darker, and a darker green on the yellower side as well. I really want a very, very dark one. I think maybe forest. Is it the Lightfast range? It's got one called forest, or is it Luminance that I've been eyeing up? Right, okay. I'm going to stop there for a minute because I think my lights need charging, so I might go and have a cup of tea and I shall dig out that picture to show you. I'll be back shortly. Right, I'm back. I've just pulled out this picture that I did recently of Aberfoils in North Wales. I'm quite pleased with most of it, considering it's one of my first pencil pieces. I've only done a few odd bits and bobs in pencil. I need to work on clouds, I know that much. But as you can see, I've used a whole range of different greens on this, and I really honestly did use most of the ones I've got. I've added a little bit of the bright greens that I spoke about earlier to this field here, because it just felt as though it needed something. But now I think it's put the picture out of balance a bit, because that side is kind of glaring, isn't it? Especially I can see on the screen, it looks even worse. So I'm going to need to either mute that back down again or balance it with something on this side as well. But it gives a good pop. And talking of pops, I wasn't sure with the chartreuse green, but do you know what? This I got as a reference, does it say on the back? From When Photos, one of the Facebook free reference photos group. So I'm very grateful to When Photos for this reference. I really, really enjoyed doing this. And again, I've used so many greens, and I really love that the chartreuse has really, I haven't put too much more on it because I just wanted to leave it pop really, especially against this earthy colour. So I'm really pleased with that. So, and again, you can see the different greens I've used in the woodlands. The grey greens, the yellow greens, the green greens, the bluey greens. So yeah, it's I'm really enjoying using all the different shades at the moment. Anyway, back to swatching. There we are, and we're back and we're installed. So this is the light phthalo green from Polychromos, or from Faber-Castell Polychromos. Again, this isn't really a very natural green, but it was a pretty green. I like this. Nothing like it really. I think the middle verdigris might be something a little bit in between these two. But anyway, that might come in handy for something, I'm sure. Again, it's not a vegetation green, but I'm sure I'll use it for something because I like it. I'll find a reason to use it. I think I had in mind, it's the snake locks anemone, by the way, that my friend sent a photograph of. I just couldn't think of the name at the time. I think I had in mind when I bought this for working on things like that, and also maybe a little bit of this as well in terms of layering them up and giving it a little bit more of a bluish tone. So this is the Collins Gem guide, but I've seen it more bluey green than that, and it's kind of giving me the impetus to perhaps go and do a marini picture next, or something rock pooly. I'm in that mode. It's summer after all, even though the weather's turned a little lately. I might lay out all the greens now, I'm just thinking, since I've pretty much swatched all the greens, and we can have a little look at those before we move on to the blues. So here are my greens. There was one that I didn't write on at the time for some reason. It was this crag green here, in case you were wondering. Anyway, I'll put some music on while I show them all to you. So I thought you might be interested in seeing this. I was wanting to find out how well the green pencils I've got match up with real leaf colours. So I went out and collected a range of colours of leaves. Not perfect, but most of these colours I've been able to cover with the pencils I've got. There are one or two gaps, I think, especially towards the end, the darker greens. I might need to get one or two more, but on the whole, pretty good. If you are still here, thank you very much for watching. I will also be releasing the blue and violet pencil swatch video very soon, followed by the rest of my pencil collection and some artwork that I've made recently. If you are interested in following my art explorations, then please remember to like and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.